To give you a sense of the date of St. Rosa de Lima, she was born in Lima, Peru in the year 1586 and died at the age of 31. From her earliest years, she lived a life of intense devotion and selflessness. She wanted to give her life completely in a direct way to Jesus, and she wanted to enter religious life. But her father disapproved of that, so in obedience to her father, she didn't go into a convent but lived the life of a third order Dominican. That desire that there was in her life to devote herself completely to Christ is what Paul spoke about in the first reading. All of us, whether we're religious or married or whatever we are, our life is meant to be a gift of who we are to Christ. And that has a very particular expression in religious life when we take vows to not get married, but to give our lives directly to Jesus. As Paul said to the Corinthians and everybody in the community, I arrange you to marry Christ so that I might give you away as a chaste virgin to this one husband. So that's the new covenant between Christ and ourselves. We can also see the gospel represented in Rosa's life. She saw Jesus as the hidden treasure, the pearl of great price, and she wanted to give her whole life away in order to possess him. She worked as a seamstress, and with the money that she earned, she looked after the poor, the slaves, the sick, and the natives who were very much worse off. She lived a life of very remarkable prayer, mystical contemplation, and mortification and penance. And I'd like to read to you a little excerpt from one of her writings where Jesus talks to her. The Lord, our Saviour, raised his voice and spoke with incomparable majesty. Let everyone know, he said, that after sorrow, grace follows. Let them understand that without the burden of affliction, one cannot arrive at the height of glory. And then he says, let them be on their guard against error or deception. This is the only ladder by which paradise is reached. Without the cross, there is no road to heaven. Let me repeat that. Without the cross, without suffering, there is no road to heaven. And this is entirely logical if you think about it. We are followers of Jesus, and in our churches we have the Stations of the Cross, and we have to walk that same way of the cross with Jesus, die with him, and then rise with him. The central symbol of Christianity is the cross, which we have here on the sanctuary. The central symbol of Christianity is not a little miniature cruise ship over the altar or one of those nice reclining chairs that kind of fold out and have a built-in back massage. That is not the way that Jesus lived, and that isn't the way either that his followers are meant to live in this world. One of the things that we hear about very often in our time is quality of life. Everything is about quality of life and living in your comfort zone. And when quality of life falls away, as it does for all of us when we get sick and infirmed and all the rest of it, then those lives are seen as not worth living. And this is the whole drive we have at the moment, and which is coming in our way in a couple of years, where there will be the legalization of euthanasia and assisted suicide. When that quality of life drops, then we take the shortcut. So to sum up, as Christians, our life is not about maximizing quality of life in this world. It's about following Jesus along the way of the cross with whatever suffering comes in our way, so that we will die with Jesus and rise with Jesus.